Prologue. When the miracle starts to cry. Have you ever been told your baby might save the world, and also end it if you sneeze wrong? Because apparently, mine can. 6 months ago, I thought the miracle was surviving a birth every elder swore would kill me. Now the miracle is getting 3 consecutive hours of sleep without someone pounding on the door to ask if they can borrow a drop of my son's blood for research. No, still no. Also, what is wrong with you? They call him Moonborn Heir. I call him Tiny Tyrant, CEO of 3 a.m. Chaos and Lactose. The council says he's the first proof the old prophecy wasn't a sick joke. Hunters say he never should have been born. And me? I'm the Luna who laughs at the moon and files murder attempts under Tuesday. If you think motherhood should come with a battle axe, hit subscribe, because peace packed a bag and left, and this time I'm not letting anyone walk out with my child. Chapter 1. When prophecy needs a nap. There's blood on the onesie again. Not a lot. Just a crescent of red where the cuff meets his wrist, like the moon stamped him and forgot to wipe the ink off. Hey, I murmur, catching his little fist before he can swipe his own cheek. Claws are for later, cub. Mama needs 30 more seconds of pretending we're normal. He gurgles. Rowan's eyes, silver gray, stubborn, blink up at me from a 6-month-old face that already knows how to win arguments by smiling. The tiny nails retract with a soft click. I kiss his wrist where the skin is soft and impossibly warm, and my wolf hums under my ribs like a purr. Outside the nursery, Blackridge breathes in low, uneasy drafts. Floorboards in the old hall carry the weight of boots. Voices pour past the door like water over stone. Enforcers swapping shifts. Kitchen girls whispering prayers. An elder practicing outrage under his breath so it lands just right later. The whole house smells like polished cedar, brewed tea, and anticipation. The blood moon climbs tonight, first one since his birth. Rowan says it's just the sky turning dramatic. The council says it's an omen. I say it's a guarantee I won't sleep. Tessa. Cassian's voice floats in. All beta efficiency, no hello. He knocks once and opens without waiting. Classic Cassian. The elders requested an audience with the heir before midday. Adorable, I say, snapping the new onesie closed and scooping my son to my shoulder. I also requested a functioning espresso machine and world peace. We're all disappointed today. Cassian doesn't sigh, but his scar twitches. They claim to have felt movement. In the old wards, maybe they're allergic to dust. I bounce the baby. He settles, cheek smooshed against my collarbone. I lower my voice. Be honest. How many are actually worried about him, and how many just want to count his fingers and announce we've doomed the bloodline? 50-50, Cassian says, on a generous day. Rowan fills the doorway a breath later, the room shrinking to the shape of his shoulders. Alpha mode, black shirt, sleeves shoved to his forearms like he wasn't satisfied with the morning's workout and would like to arm wrestle fate now. His gaze finds the tiny crescent on the onesie cuff, finds the dried red. A flicker of something dangerous skims his eyes. He nicked himself? He asks, too casual to be casual. I nudge his chest with my elbow. He's part you. Sharp things appear when he's bored. Rowan steps in close enough that cedar and smoke thread through my head, steadying everything skittish. His thumb ghosts the edge of our son's sleeve, careful, reverent. The pup yawns wide, shows off gums and a pearl of tooth that probably wasn't there yesterday. Of course it wasn't. Elders can wait, Rowan says, still watching the yawn like the sun rose just to see it. Then to Cassian, double the inner guard. Rotate the outer ring every 90 minutes until moonset already ordered, Cassian says, which means he ordered it before he told us about the elders. He tips his head at me in a not-quite bow. Luna. I'm still not used to the title. It fits better than it did, but some mornings it wears like armor I haven't fully broken in. Cassian, I say, tell the elders I'll bring him when he's napped. Or when they stop pretending they don't pray to a prophecy they claim to hate. Whichever comes first, Cassian's mouth tilts, the closest he gets to a grin. Then he's gone, the nursery door clicking soft behind him. For a minute, it's just us. The chair creaks as I sink into it, the old wood complaining like a great aunt. Rowan leans against the window frame and watches the forest rise and fall, silent, calculating the distance to every tree like he can move the whole line if he leans harder. The light is that pale winter gold that makes everything look clean, even when nothing is. Say it, I tell him. His eyebrow lifts. Say what? That thing you're holding between your teeth so you don't spook me. He looks back at me, all alpha stripped to man. The old wards did hum. My fingers still over the baby's back. Hum like him or hum like warning? Both. A muscle jumps in his jaw. 2 nights ago, the boundary stones warmed. Last night, the eastern marker pulsed. I hum right back because apparently we're a family of hunters? Maybe. He rubs the bridge of his nose with his thumb and forefinger. That tell I've learned for if one more elder tells me how my dead predecessors did it, I'll throw someone into the river. Maybe something older. Older than elders? Great, I stroke down the baby's spine. He melts heavier into me. What do they want, other than a blood sample, a lock of hair, and front row seats to our downfall? Rowan's gaze softens at the edges where it lands on us. To see the mark if it appears. Ah, that. Some babies get dimples. Mine gets omens that flash like moon silver under the skin. There, gone, there again, just below the left collarbone. A faint crescent, a brighter star. The first time I saw it, I laughed so hard I scared us both, because when terror sits down beside me, humor pours her a drink. You know, I say, brushing my son's collarbone like a magician palming a coin, when people begged for a sign, I don't think they meant on the baby. I think they meant like a rainbow. Rowan's mouth almost smiles. He crosses to us, crouches, presses his lips to the soft spot where hair meets neck, our son's, then mine. The bond warms like a banked fire. My wolf stretches. You don't have to take him to the elders, he says into my shoulder. Not today. You say that like it wouldn't make them invent a new kind of treason. I tilt my head to him. We're not hiding what we are. We didn't survive all this to tuck ourselves behind thick curtains and whisper, agreed. His hand covers mine over the baby's back, anchoring all 3 of us to the same square of air. But you don't have to face them alone. Rowan, I murmur, pretending exasperation to cover the part of me that wants to crawl into his chest and close the door. I'm Luna. I literally signed up for the not alone package. He huffs, almost a laugh, almost. The pup sighs that milk-drunk sound that forgives the world for now and lets go. Sleep drops him like a stone into a quiet blue lake. I stand. Rowan takes him from me like he's lifting fire, and for a second the sight is holy in a way I don't like admitting. Alpha hands, battle-hard and scarred, cradling a thing the size of one palm. You know, I say lightly, because tears are a trap door, and I do not have time to fall through one. If the elders try anything, I'm growling first and asking questions later. Growl, he says, the word thick with pride. I'll be the one pulling throats. Romance, I deadpan. He kisses my temple anyway. We make it to the corridor before the house's hum thickens from uneasy to alert. A bell rings once, low, not alarm, not yet, then a second time, edged. Cassian appears like he stepped out of the wall. They're early, he says. Council envoy at the outer gate, with a white banner, his lip curls, and a silver case. Blood samples, relics, chains if they think they can get away with it. Rowan shifts the baby against his shoulder, and the sight of it, Alpha, Heir, puts something iron into my spine. I square my shoulders, strip the milk-stained gilt from my shirt with my thumb, and smile like I already won. Okay, I tell the envoy we haven't met yet, the elders behind them. The hunters who think a law older than kindness can tell me what to do. Let's go disappoint a prophecy committee. Rowan's mouth twitches. Stay behind me, he says. Try to stop me, I answer, and the three of us move as one down the stairs, Alpha, Luna, Moonborn, toward a door that opens like a held breath to a world too interested in things that aren't theirs. Chapter 2. The Council at the Door. The front doors of Blackridge don't creak. They breathe. That's what it feels like when they swing open, like the house itself inhales, bracing for trouble. And there it is, 5 elders in heavy cloaks, smelling like incense and judgment. Behind them, 2 men in hunter leathers holding a silver case between them like it's holy scripture instead of a glorified cooler for blood samples. Fantastic. Rowan's beside me, posture carved from stone. Cassian flanks the door, hand already on his blade. I shift the baby higher on my hip and smile, the tight, dangerous kind that gets me through funerals, betrayal, and PTA meetings I'll never attend. Luna Tessa, says the first elder, voice dry as bone dust. We bring word from the Grand Council. And an urgent request. Request, I repeat, not order. Good start. His eyes flick to the baby. The moonborn heir must be examined under the blood moon, for his safety. And ours? I glance down at my son, who chooses that exact moment to yawn and drool on my shoulder. He's really more of a nap guy than a lab rat guy, but thanks. The hunter with the case steps forward. The silver gleams, etched with runes that make my wolf snarl deep in my chest. Rowan hears it. His hand finds my back, firm and grounding. No one touches him, Rowan says, voice quiet but lethal. You know our laws. My blood, my bond, my heir, Alpha, the elder replies. With respect, the laws predate your line. Rowan's smile is slow. So does my temper. Cassian's fingers twitch near his sword. I clear my throat, stepping forward before anyone does something permanent. Listen, I get it. You've got ancient prophecies, moon charts, a schedule full of apocalypses to prevent. But maybe we can skip the ritual sacrifice vibes and start with something friendly. Coffee, perhaps? The elder blinks, confused. Hunters don't do sarcasm. Another one, smaller, older, steps forward. Her eyes are pale blue and tired. Luna, she says softly, it is not meant as harm. The heir's mark has reappeared in our visions. The blood moon calls to him. If we don't understand what he is, then you'll cage him. I finish for her. Silence. The baby stirs against me, little fingers curling in my shirt. My wolf hums again, deeper, protective. I feel Rowan tense beside me. I bled for this pack, I say, quieter now. And I almost died giving you the one thing your prophecies couldn't deliver. You're not taking him anywhere. The elder woman studies me for a long moment. Then she inclines her head slightly, not surrender, but acknowledgement. The moon listens to those who defy it, she murmurs. Perhaps that is why it chose you. Then she turns, motioning to the others. The hunters hesitate, but her glare sends them retreating down the steps. The case goes with them. When the doors close again, I finally breathe. Rowan lets out a low growl. Not at me, just the air. The house feels smaller now, like the walls know something's coming. Was that mercy, I ask, or just an intermission? Both, Cassian mutters. They'll be back when the moon's higher. They want proof. Proof of what? Rowan looks at me then, and for the first time since the birth, I see fear under the alpha calm. That he's not something new. Outside, thunder rolls again. The blood moon hasn't even risen yet, but the light through the windows is already changing. Red bleeding into gold. And somewhere deep in the forest, something howls back. My son lifts his head, tiny eyes glowing faintly silver. Rowan stiffens. Cassian swears. I laugh softly, shaking my head. Oh, great. He's bilingual already, but my stomach twists, because whatever he's hearing, it's not just wolves. It's the call of something older. Something that sounds like prophecy. and hunger. Chapter 3. Blood Moon Rising. By nightfall, the sky looks bruised. Clouds smear red across the horizon, and even the trees hold still, as if the forest itself forgot how to breathe. The elders called it a harbinger. I call it the universe's worst lighting choice. Everything I own looks dipped in wine and bad decisions. Inside the pack house, candles throw long shadows over stone floors. Every wolf who isn't on patrol is pretending to find something important to do indoors. The air hums, heavy with scent, ozone, iron, anticipation. My wolf paces behind my ribs, restless. Rowan's been outside for an hour. Cassian went with him, both of them checking the perimeter again, which leaves me the miracle and a moon that can't mind its own business. The baby, my son, my heart, my daily reminder that fate has zero respect for sleep schedules, lies in his cradle. He's peaceful, cheeks flushed, lashes dark against skin that glows faintly gold in the firelight. Then it happens. A pulse, soft but real under my feet. The cradle trembles. My wolf lifts her head. "Please be gas," I mutter. Another pulse. The floorboards answer with a low, resonant hum, the same tone Rowan described this morning, only now it's stronger, closer. The baby stirs. For a second I think he's dreaming. Then his little hands flare with light. Not bright, just enough to paint the air silver. "Oh no," I whisper. "No, no, no, you're supposed to nap through apocalypses, remember?" His eyes open. They're glowing, silver shot through with gold, the colors of both of us. He doesn't cry, he laughs. It's small and bubbling and impossibly sweet, and every candle in the room flickers sideways. My wolf surges, claws scraping the inside of my skin. She's not angry, she's answering him. A knock slams through the house. "Tessa!" Rowan's voice, low, urgent. "Stay inside. Don't touch him." I look at the glowing infant in the cradle, then at my own hands, which are starting to hum. "Define touch," I call back. The door bursts open before he can answer. Rowan fills the frame, eyes bright silver in the blood moon light. Cassian's behind him, sword drawn, jaw tight. "He's responding to it," Rowan says. "No kidding," I say, gesturing to the mini disco happening in the cradle. Rowan crosses to us, stopping just short of the glow. His breath shudders out. It's not hurting him. The mark is amplifying, see? He points and I see it, that faint crescent and star on my son's collarbone, shining like it's been traced with liquid moonlight. With every heartbeat, it flashes brighter, sending small ripples of silver through the air. Cassian mutters, "It's drawing power." From the wards, from us. And he's right, I can feel it. My pulse syncing with the rhythm, energy climbing my spine until my fingers tingle. "Rowan," I whisper, "what happens when it peaks?" He meets my eyes, the alpha stripped bare. "I don't know." The baby laughs again, louder this time, pure joy, and the windows explode outward, shards flying into the night like sparks. Rowan's arms are around me before I can blink, his body shielding mine. Cassian curses and slams his blade into the floor, murmuring an incantation that smells like burning cedar. The energy drops a notch, enough that I can breathe again. The baby blinks up at us, unbothered. His eyes fade back to soft gray. The light dims. Silence. Only the blood moon still burns through the shattered windows, watching. Rowan straightens slowly, glass crunching under his boots. He just woke every ward within 50 miles. "Cool," I say, voice shaking. "Do we get an award, or just the pitchfork parade?" He doesn't smile. "They'll come. Hunters, elders." Maybe worse, I look at our son, still smiling in his cradle, and then back at Rowan. Then we make them regret it. My wolf agrees, low, certain. Outside, somewhere deep in the dark, a distant howl answers us. And this time it doesn't sound like a threat. It sounds like a calling. Chapter 4. Old Wounds. The house smells like glass dust and adrenaline. By the time Cassian finishes sweeping the shards into a pile, the adrenaline has started to leak out of me. I sink onto the couch with the baby in my arms and pretend I'm not shaking. He's already asleep again, thumb in his mouth like nothing supernatural happened. Typical man. Start chaos. Nap immediately after. Rowan paces near the broken window, every line of him wound too tight. His shirt clings to his shoulders and the air around him hums with suppressed fury. I should probably find it terrifying. I mostly find it unfair that he can look that good while the rest of us resemble trauma survivors. He stops, glances at me, then at our son. He's stable? Define stable, I say. He glows sometimes. Other times he drools. Honestly, the drool's winning tonight. His jaw twitches, but he almost smiles. We'll reinforce the wards before dawn. Cassian's already— Yeah, about that, I interrupt. Maybe we stop pretending this is a ward issue. The moon went full disco in my nursery, Rowan. That wasn't a security breach. That was— I stop, words crumbling under their own weight. Something inside him. He comes closer, slow, careful, like I might bolt. You're not wrong. But the more power he shows, the more reason they'll have to come for him. Then we hide him. His eyes flicker, silver to storm. You think we can hide a child who lights up half the forest when he laughs? Fair point. I press a kiss to the baby's hair, breathing him in. He smells like milk and safety. For a second, the world feels small again. Just us three, no prophecies, no politics. Then my memory ruins it. I see fluorescent lights, my old apartment, my best friend Luna sitting cross-legged on my couch, shoving pizza in her mouth while I laughed about some bad date. That version of me didn't know wolves existed, didn't know my laugh could shake a building, didn't know love could come with claws. I miss her. The girl who thought sarcasm was enough armor. Hey, Rowan says softly, crouching in front of me. Where did you just go? Nowhere, I lie. Everywhere. He studies me, seeing too much. You don't have to carry it alone. Don't I? I gesture around us. Half the pack either fears me or worships me. The other half thinks my son is a weapon. You and Cassian are the only ones who still treat me like I'm not one breath away from smiting the landscape. His hand finds mine, rough thumb tracing my palm. Tessa, listen to me. But I pull my hand back before he can say something earnest enough to make me cry. Don't. Not now. I just got the baby to sleep. He exhales, stands. Then rest. I'll keep watch. Alpha duties or guilt complex? I murmur. He looks over his shoulder, half smile. Both. When he leaves, the silence swells. I sit there in the half-light, staring at the cradle. My wolf whispers softly under my skin. An ache, a warning. Not safe. I press my palm to my son's back and whisper back, I know. Outside, the blood moon hangs heavy, painting the broken glass red. And deep inside me, something stirs, something older than fear, older than prophecy. It hums in time with my heartbeat, steady and low. It feels like promise. Or maybe it's just the next storm getting ready to break. Chapter 5. The mark appears. It starts as a warmth, the kind that crawls out from under your skin before you can decide whether to be afraid of it. The baby's breathing changes, soft even, then hitching on every other exhale. I'm out of the bed before my brain catches up. The cradle glows faintly, silver pooled like moon milk around his tiny body. For a heartbeat, I think the light's a reflection from the window. Then it brightens, pulsing in rhythm with my pulse. Rowan, I whisper. He's already in the doorway. I felt it, he says, voice rough from too little sleep. He crosses the room in 3 strides and kneels beside me. It's the mark. The crescent on our son's collarbone isn't faint anymore. It's sharp, glowing like forged steel. And there's something new, lines radiating outward, curling into patterns I don't recognize, like language written in light. What does it mean? I ask. Rowan shakes his head once. No record of this. Not even in the old books the baby stirs. Eyes opening. Gray 1 second, molten gold the next. He looks up at me and coos, small fingers stretching toward my throat. I lean closer because I can't not, and the moment his skin touches mine I feel it, a spark, then a burn. I gasp. Tessa? Rowan's hand clamps around my wrist. What is it? Look. He follows my gaze. The light is spreading, up from the baby's touch, tracing along my collarbone, matching his pattern stroke for stroke. It doesn't hurt exactly, it feels like the world remembering me. Rowan's eyes flare silver. It's echoing. The mark's copying itself onto you. Well, I manage, voice unsteady. That's new. We're matching tattoos now. Very modern parenting. He doesn't smile. It links you. The prophecy said the moonborn would share blood with the one who laughs at the moon. It didn't say how literal that would be. The glow pulses again, stronger, bright enough that every surface in the room throws a shadow. The cradle rattles. My wolf presses forward, ears flat, uncertain whether to fight or bow. I clutch the baby close, whispering nonsense just to hear my own voice. It's okay, little comet. Mama's got you. Rowan circles behind me, his presence a wall of heat. You have to ground it, he says. Breathe with him. Match the rhythm I do. In through my nose, out through my mouth. The glow steadies, softens, finally sinks back beneath our skin. When it's gone, the room feels empty in that heavy way after lightning. Rowan brushes the new mark on my collarbone with the back of his knuckles. It's permanent. I look down. The silver crescent still faintly gleams, cool against my skin. Great. Prophecy jewelry. He actually laughs, low and incredulous. Only you would joke while the universe brands you. Humor's cheaper than therapy, I say, though my voice shakes. Cassian chooses that moment to bang on the door. Alpha, Rowan answers without looking away from me. What is it? The wards flared again. Whatever happened in there, it wasn't contained. The signal went beyond the borders. I meet Rowan's eyes. Meaning every pack, every hunter, every creature that can smell moonlight now knows exactly where the heir sleeps. My stomach drops. Guess nap time's over. Rowan straightens, already shifting into command mode. We'll move you to the lower chambers. Cassian, triple the guard. No one comes within 20 paces unless I say so. Cassian nods and disappears down the hall, already barking orders. I rock the baby against my shoulder, trying to convince both of us this is fine. It isn't. The mark still tingles where it sits, mirrored on my skin. A quiet reminder that prophecy isn't done with us yet. Rowan's hand settles on my back, solid and warm. They'll come, he says, but so will we. Together I tilt my head just enough to meet his gaze. That sounded very heroic. Was supposed to. Next time, try saying it with coffee. He almost smiles. Outside, thunder growls again. Inside, the faint silver mark under my collarbone pulses once, like a heartbeat answering something far away. And I can't tell if that something is calling for help or coming to claim what's his. Chapter 6. The Heir's Trial. Morning doesn't so much arrive as it sneaks in through the wreckage, tiptoeing over the broken bits of the night. Every window glows pale, and the air smells like iron and rain. Cassian's voice carries down the hall. They've called for parley. I don't move from the chair beside the cradle. Parley. Fancy word for we're coming to judge you. Rowan's already in full alpha mode again. Black shirt, knife at his hip, silver eyes sharpened for politics. It's protocol. They'll demand a demonstration. Of what? I ask. Baby's new party trick? He glows. They faint. We go home. Of control, Rowan says quietly. They'll want proof he can be contained. Contained. Like he's a weapon. My wolf bares her teeth. Cassian leans in the doorway, arms crossed. You don't have to go, Luna. I can stall them, I shake my head. No. If I hide, they win before we start. Rowan studies me a moment too long, as if weighing the fight and the risk. Then he nods once. We face them together. The council chamber sits in the heart of the pack's old keep, where the air always smells faintly of stone and memory. Wolves fill the benches, elders at the front, hunters stationed along the walls. It's not just our pack anymore. Delegations from neighboring territories have arrived, curious and afraid. When we enter, the hum of voices dies. I walk with the baby in my arms, Rowan beside me, Cassian half a step behind. Every gaze follows the glow faintly leaking from beneath my son's blanket. I can feel their fear sliding across my skin. The eldest counselor stands. His hair is white, his robes the same dull gray as the stone. Alpha Rowan, Luna Tessa. You bring the child? I lift the bundle slightly. Prefer the heir, thanks. Child sounds like you're about to sacrifice him. A ripple of uneasy laughter breaks the tension, brief and brittle. The elder's eyes flick to the faint mark visible at my collarbone. We've seen this before, he murmurs, but never duplicated. Yeah, I say. That's kind of our brand. Unprecedented miracles and bad timing. Rowan's hand brushes mine, warning me to breathe. The elder gestures toward the center of the floor. Please, place him within the circle. I look down. Silver runes, etched deep into the stone, gleam faintly under the torchlight. The same language that burned itself onto my son's skin last night. No, I say. The word lands like a crack of thunder. Murmurs surge. Someone hisses defiance. Another says prophecy fulfilled. Rowan's jaw tightens, but he doesn't contradict me. He stands behind me, silent mountain. The elder's voice goes cold. Luna, you misunderstand. This is not request. It is decree, and I'm saying no, I answer. You don't put a 6-month-old in a spell circle and call it science. Cassian shifts, ready if things turn physical. The elder leans forward. Then you risk the treaty that keeps the hunters from your door. Those hunters were already at my door, I shoot back. And if you think I won't tear it off its hinges before I hand him over, you've really underestimated how much sleep I've lost lately. Rowan steps forward, voice calm but cutting. Enough. The Luna has spoken. The air remains under my protection. The room erupts, shouts, accusations, the word curse echoing off stone. And then, quiet. A light spills out from under the blanket, silver so bright it paints the walls. The baby's eyes open, calm and unblinking. The mark on his collarbone burns, and the matching one on mine ignites in answer. Gasps ripple through the chamber. Some wolves bow their heads, others back away. The elder's voice trembles. The bond is active. The prophecy is complete. I look down at my son. His tiny hand pats my chest, right over the mark, and the warmth spreads until it silences the tremor in my knees. Rowan steps closer, wrapping one arm around us both. If you still believe this child is a curse, he says, voice quiet but heavy with command, then you do not belong in my pack. No one answers. The elder bows his head. Then the trial is ended. Outside, the crowd parts as we pass. Some reach out to touch the hem of my sleeve. Others whisper prayers under their breath. Rowan doesn't speak until we're alone again in the hall. You just changed everything, he says. I adjust the baby on my hip and sigh. Great. Maybe now someone will volunteer for night feedings? He laughs under his breath, the sound low and disbelieving. You really aren't afraid of them. Of the council? I glance down at the child sleeping against my shoulder. No, of what comes next. Maybe we walk in silence a moment. Then Rowan says, You handled that like a Luna born to it. I bump his arm with mine. Please, I handled it like a tired mom with zero patience for bureaucracy. He smiles, faint but real. Either way, they'll never forget it. Good, I say, opening the nursery door. Maybe next time they'll send cookies instead of ultimatums. He shakes his head, following me inside. You keep making jokes like that, and one day they'll think you're serious. I look back over my shoulder, smirking. Maybe I am. The baby stirs, the silver mark on his skin flickering once, faint as a heartbeat. Outside, thunder rumbles again, and somewhere far away something answers. Chapter 7. Fire and Milk. The first howl hits just past midnight. It's wrong. Too high, too many teeth in it, and every wolf in the compound knows it. I'm halfway to the nursery before Rowan even reaches the hall. The baby's still asleep, small fists curled under his chin, unaware of the world tearing itself open outside. Rowan's already shifting orders down the bond. I can feel it like static against my skin. Cassian's voice answers somewhere beyond the walls. Calm, precise, deadly. Outer ring breached, Rowan says. 2, maybe 3 rogues. Could be a diversion. Could be, I echo, or could be the main act. He glances at me, silver eyes lit by the red glow of the moon through the window. Stay here. I open my mouth to argue, but he's gone. Alpha speed, blur of motion, the sound of boots and claws fading down the corridor. I turn back to the cradle, heart pounding. My wolf paces under my ribs, restless, furious. Stay, she growls, and fight all at once. Then the smell hits, smoke. I freeze. The baby shifts, whimpers, the faint mark on his chest flaring to life. No, 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 don't you dare start glowing again, I whisper, scooping him up. Your father's busy, and I don't have the energy to handle another divine intervention tonight. The hall outside flashes orange. Someone screams. I press my back to the wall and slide along the corridor toward the back stairs. The heat rises with every step. Somewhere above, a timber cracks. The air tastes like fire and fear. At the landing, Cassian barrels around the corner, blade slick with blood. His eyes widen when he sees me. Luna, what are you doing? Surviving, I snap. What's happening? 3 rogues, maybe more, hunters mixed in. Someone opened the eastern gate from inside, I repeat, meaning one of ours. He doesn't answer. Doesn't have to. The baby starts to fuss. I bounce him against my shoulder, whispering nonsense. The glow under his blanket flickers, brighter every time the firelight pulses. Cassian curses softly. He's reacting again. Yeah, I say. That makes 2 of us. We reach the great hall just as the doors explode inward. Rogues, wild-eyed, half-shifted, foam and fire on their teeth. Cassian moves before thought, blade singing. I back up, pressing the baby to my chest. My wolf surges forward, claws scratching at the edges of my skin. The air thickens, heavy with blood and magic. One rogue breaks through Cassian's defense, lunges for me. Time slows. His eyes yellow, mouth open, the smell of burning fur. Something inside me snaps. I don't remember deciding to move. One blink, I'm cornered. The next, I'm not. My wolf tears through, half-shifted, claws slicing across his chest. He hits the ground hard, choking on his own snarl. The room goes still. Cassian stares. Luna. I look down. My arms are still human, mostly. But my hands, my claws, are wet and gleaming, and the mark on my collarbone burns like it's alive. The baby gurgles happily against me, completely unbothered. Great, I mutter. Your mom's having her first murder and you think it's adorable. Rowan bursts through the opposite door, blood on his shirt, smoke in his hair. His gaze finds mine immediately. For a second, the alpha mask cracks. Something like awe flickers through. He crosses the room in 3 strides, grabs my free hand. You shifted, he says. Halfway. Does that count? His thumb brushes the mark on my collarbone. It counts. Another explosion rocks the courtyard. Cassian's already moving. Rowan looks at me, torn. Go, I tell him. Finish it. We'll be fine. He hesitates. I give him my best Luna glare. Rowan, go. He kisses my forehead once, fierce and quick, then vanishes back into the fire. I stand there, smoke swirling around me, claws dripping, the baby calm against my heart. My wolf settles under my skin, satisfied. And for the first time since all this began, I understand why the moon chose me. Not because I'm gentle, not because I'm special, Because when the world burns, I don't pray. I fight. Chapter 8. Broken Moonlight. By dawn, the fire has died, but the smoke hasn't learned how to leave. It crawls low through the halls, soft gray fingers tracing the edges of everything that survived. The healers move like ghosts. Cassian's men drag what's left of the rogues into the courtyard. Someone's weeping near the kitchens. I can still taste ash in my mouth. Rowan finds me on the back steps, the baby asleep in my lap, wrapped in a blanket that smells faintly of milk and smoke. His shirt's torn, his knuckles raw. He sits beside me without a word. For a long time we just listen. To the wind, to the slow heartbeat of a house trying to remember it's still standing. Finally he says, "We lost 3. I nod. I felt them go. The bond between Alpha and Pack hums low in my bones. Every death brushes past like a cold fingertip. Rowan's hand brushes my knee, hesitant. You shouldn't blame yourself. I don't. I shift the baby a little closer. I blame whoever opened that gate. He exhales, the sound scraping against his throat. Cassian found the latch broken from the inside. Whoever it was knew the pattern, one of ours. Of course it was. I stare out at the trees, the blood moonlight finally fading into pale gold. Prophecies don't need enemies. They breed them. He looks at me then, eyes still silver bright in the weak light. You changed last night. I snort. You noticed the claws? Not just the claws. He reaches, almost touching the mark at my collarbone before stopping himself. The moment you struck, the wards pulsed outward. Every wolf in the valley felt it. They bowed. To you I laugh once, short and sharp. Great. I'm a religion now. Do I get holidays? Tessa. His voice is gentle, but the way he says my name pins me. You scared them, but you also saved them. That balance is what makes you Luna. I look down at the sleeping bundle in my arms. His tiny fingers twitch, tracing invisible shapes in the air. He didn't cry, I whisper, through all of it. He didn't need to, Rowan says. You answered for him. The words settle somewhere deep, heavier than praise. Cassian appears at the door, soot streaking his face. We found her. Rowan stands instantly. Who? Cassian's jaw tightens. Elder Mara. She was at the eastern gate when it opened. Said she was following a sign. A sign. My wolf growls low. Always the same excuse. Faith to mask betrayal. Rowan looks at me. Stay with him. No, I say, rising carefully, the baby still against me. If she followed a sign, I want to hear what it said. He doesn't argue this time. Maybe he knows better. Maybe he's just too tired to try. They keep her in the lower hall, wrists bound in silver thread. She looks smaller than I remember. Pale hair singed at the ends, eyes bright with a kind of mad serenity. When she sees us, she smiles. Luna, she murmurs. The moon chose well. Funny way of showing approval, I say. You nearly got half the pack killed. I opened the gate so Destiny could walk in, she says simply. The rogues weren't enemies. They were heralds, Rowan's voice goes hard. Heralds don't slaughter children. Her gaze slides past him to me. The mark has spread, hasn't it? You feel it, the pull toward the old lands I freeze. Because she's right. Somewhere beneath the exhaustion and the smoke, something inside me is pulling, south toward the ruins where the first Luna was said to have fallen. How do you know that? I ask. Her smile widens. Because the moon speaks louder every night, and it calls you by name. Later, after they've taken her away, Rowan and I stand at the edge of the courtyard watching the sun finally crawl over the tree line. The pack moves quietly below us, rebuilding, sweeping, mourning. She's not wrong, I admit. Something's calling. He nods, eyes on the horizon. Then we'll find out what it wants. I glance at the baby in my arms, at the faint gleam of silver under his skin, at the matching mark on mine. And if it wants him? Rowan meets my gaze, unflinching. Then it gets us both. The wind shifts, cool and clean, carrying the smell of ash and new earth. I tuck the blanket closer around the little heir who's already too much legend for one lifetime and whisper, "Let them come. We're still here." Somewhere in the distance, the last trace of the blood moon sinks behind the mountains, leaving only daylight and the thin promise of calm. For now. Chapter 9. The Pact of Mothers. The road south smells like rain and ghosts. Every mile feels older than the last. Stones buried under moss, trees bending toward one another as if whispering secrets. Rowan wanted to send scouts. Cassian offered to go himself. I said no to both. This isn't an Alpha mission. It's a Luna one. Whatever's calling me isn't going to answer to soldiers. It's calling me. The baby rides against my chest in a sling, head tucked under my chin, asleep despite the steady rhythm of the horse. He's getting heavier every day. Or maybe I'm just getting tired. The mark at my collarbone hums whenever the cloud's thin enough for moonlight to break through. Rowan rides beside me, silent except for the low growl that slips out whenever the wind changes direction. "Relax," I say. "If something wanted to kill us, it would have sent a calendar invite by now." He doesn't laugh. "Something's been tracking us since the ridge." I glance back. Nothing but trees. "Maybe it's the guilt fairy, following me around." "She's late, but persistent. Maybe," he says, but his hand stays on the hilt of his blade. We make camp by a stream, the water black and cold. Cassian builds a small fire, careful to keep the smoke low. When the baby stirs, I feed him, the ordinary rhythm of it grounding me against all the strangeness. That's when I hear it, singing, low, wordless, old. It threads through the trees like mist. My wolf lifts her head inside me. Rowan looks up instantly. "You hear that?" "Yeah," I whisper. "And before you say it, it's not in my head." 3 women step into the firelight. Their faces are lined, their eyes the color of stormlight through fog. They move like they've always known where I'd be. The air around them smells faintly of rosemary and silver. "Luna," the tallest one says. "We felt you coming." Rowan shifts closer, protective. "Witches," he mutters. The woman smiles. "Midwives once. Healers, mothers, names change, purpose doesn't." Her gaze flicks to the sleeping baby. "He carries the moon's blood, but the mark on your skin burns brighter." "That should not be—" "Tell me something I don't know," I say. "It started the night of the blood moon. Now it won't stop humming unless I threaten to swear." The woman chuckles, the sound like dry leaves. "The bond is deep. The prophecy's root has taken hold. If left unchecked, it will consume one to feed the other," I freeze. "Meaning?" "Meaning your life for his," she says simply. Rowan steps forward, silver eyes blazing. "That won't happen." The witch tilts her head. "Then you must choose another way." The first Luna faced the same crossroad. She made a pact to share her power among the mothers of the moon, to keep balance. Cassian snorts. "A myth?" "Maybe," she says, "but myths have teeth." I look down at my son. The crescent on his skin flickers, pulsing in time with the one on mine. The hum grows louder, almost a heartbeat between us. "What do I do?" I ask. The witch steps closer, pressing something small and cold into my hand. A charm, carved bone strung on red thread. "When the next blood moon rises, bring him to the old stones beyond the ridge. Speak his name to the earth. The pact will answer, and if I don't? Then the mark will decide for you." The witches vanish the way they came, one moment there, the next part of the forest. The night swallows their song. I sit by the fire long after they're gone, staring at the charm in my palm. Rowan crouches beside me. "You don't believe them." "I believe everyone until they give me a reason not to," I say. "And right now the universe is short on explanations." He touches the charm, his fingers brushing mine. "We'll find another way." "Maybe." I glance up at him. "But if they're right, I don't get to wait for maybe." He looks like he wants to argue. Instead, he just sits beside me, shoulder against mine, watching the fire until the first gray edge of dawn cuts the trees. The baby sighs in his sleep, the faint mark on his skin glowing softly in the dim light. The humming stops, just like that. The sudden quiet is almost worse. It feels like the world holding its breath. Chapter 10. Blood of the Moon. By the time we reach the ridge, the moon is already bleeding through the clouds. It's darker this time, less silver, more heart's blood. The air hums like it's full of bees. Every breath tastes like iron and rain. The old stones stand in a rough circle, older than any pack, older maybe than wolves themselves. Lichen crawls over runes that still pulse faintly when the light hits right. The charm the witches gave me burns cold against my palm. Rowan reins in his horse, scanning the tree line. "If this goes wrong—" "Stop," I say. "We've already had the if this goes wrong talk 6 times. It's boring now." His mouth twitches, the faintest ghost of a smile. "You don't have to face it alone." "I don't know how to do anything not alone," I admit. "But thanks for the sentiment." Cassian stays back, his horse restless under him. The baby sleeps against my chest, heavy and warm, unaware of the way the whole world seems to be listening. I slide off the saddle and step into the circle. The moment my boot touches the grass inside, the ground shivers. The mark on my collarbone flares, answered by the one on my son's skin. Rowan swears softly. "Tessa!" I know. The light crawls outward from us, threads of silver and red winding through the carvings in the stones. The charm in my hand hums, then splits cleanly in two. The voice that follows isn't sound, it's pressure, thought, the weight of something ancient brushing against the edge of my mind. "Luna." It's not gentle. It feels like standing in front of a storm. You carry what was promised. "I carry my son," I whisper. The air, the balance, the blood of the moon reborn. One must yield so the other may stand. "Yeah, see? I don't do ultimatums from disembodied voices," I say, louder than I mean to. "Find another volunteer." The wind lashes around us. Rowan starts toward me, but something stops him. An invisible wall that ripples the air between us. The voice deepens. "You are the echo of the first." Her laughter birthed light. "Your defiance sustains it. Choose." The baby stirs, small hands glowing where they clutch my tunic. The bond flares between us, hot enough to hurt. My wolf rises under my skin, all teeth and fury. "I choose both," I say. The light lashes outward, blinding. The stones crack, splitting down the middle. I feel the mark sear hotter, the bond pulling, twisting, trying to split us apart. Rowan pounds against the barrier, shouting my name, but I can't hear him. All I can hear is the heartbeat against mine, tiny, steady, so impossibly alive. I press my palm over his chest. "You are not a weapon," I whisper. "You're a miracle. My miracle." The world erupts. Light floods everything, red and white, fire and milk, moon and blood. For one endless second, there's nothing but warmth. Then silence. When the light fades, I'm on my knees in the center of the circle. The baby's still in my arms, breathing evenly. The marks on both our skin are dull now, no longer glowing, just faint silver scars. Rowan's beside me, hands on my shoulders, eyes wide with relief. "You're both—" "Alive," I say, though my voice cracks. "Mostly." Cassian rides up, staring at the shattered stones. "What did you do?" I look around. The runes are gone. The hum of power is gone. The air feels clean again. "I think," I say slowly, "I broke the prophecy." Rowan's laugh comes out half a sob. He pulls me close, his forehead against mine. "You and your habit of rewriting fate." "Hey," I murmur, smiling through the ache. "It was getting repetitive anyway." The baby makes a soft sound, almost a laugh, and for the first time in months, it's just that, a laugh, no glow, no hum. Just the sound of a child who doesn't know the world almost ended for him. We ride back at dawn. The forest smells new, washed clean. The first rays of sunlight catch on the broken stones behind us, turning them gold. Rowan reaches for my hand. I let him take it. "So," he says, glancing at the faint marks on our skin. "What now?" I smile at the horizon, at the thin line of light cutting through the trees. "Now?" I say. "Now we figure out how to live in a world that finally stopped writing our story for us." The baby sighs, nestling closer, and my wolf stretches, content. For once, the silence feels like peace. Epilogue. Luna's promise. 6 months later, the forest smells like spring again. No blood, no smoke. Just wet earth, new grass, and the soft hum of bees drunk on sunlight. Blackridge stands whole. The scars in the walls are gone, though if you look closely, you can still see where fire once licked the stone. Wolves laugh in the training yard. Cassian actually smiles sometimes. The council chamber has been turned into a nursery because priorities finally made sense. And me? I'm on the porch with my son in my lap, a mug of coffee that could raise the dead, and a view of everything I nearly lost. The mark on my collarbone is still there, faint silver under my skin. It doesn't hum anymore. It just rests, like a heartbeat that finally learned patience. My son's mark has faded too, more scar than symbol now. Sometimes I catch him studying it, the way kids stare at freckles, as if he half remembers what he was meant to be. Rowan comes out of the house barefoot, smelling like cedar and soap. His hair's a little longer, his eyes a little softer. He drops onto the step beside me, the wood creaking under his weight. "Cassian says the lower packs want a treaty," he says. "Tell them to send cookies," I answer. He chuckles, reaching to tickle the baby's chin. "You ever get tired of pretending not to care about politics?" "Every day," I say, "and yet here I am, queen of sarcasm, ruling by caffeine and passive aggression." He leans back, sunlight cutting across his jaw. "You saved them, you know." "Us," I correct. "We saved us." He looks at me like I'm the only steady thing left in the world. It's disarming, that kind of faith. I glance down at the baby. He's babbling to a butterfly, tiny fingers reaching for wings he'll never catch. "You ever think about the prophecy?" I ask. Rowan shakes his head. "I think about what's real. The prophecy was just the moon's way of making sure we met." I laugh softly. "That's a lot of destruction just to set up a date." "Worth it," he says, and I believe him. The baby squeals, clapping his hands. The butterfly escapes, looping lazily into the sunlight. For a second, I think I see something. Silver dust trailing behind it, a shimmer that feels like goodbye. The moon's voice has been quiet ever since that night at the stones. Sometimes when the wind slides through the pines, I swear I hear it humming. Not words, just a melody too old to be language. It doesn't scare me anymore. It sounds content. Maybe that's what freedom really is. The quiet after the storm when you realize you're still here. I set the mug down and lift my son, his laughter spilling into the air. "See that little comet?" That's the sky learning how to smile again. Rowan stands behind me, his hands warm on my shoulders. "And you?" he asks. "What about you, Tessa?" I tilt my head back against him, close my eyes. Me? I'm finally sober from the hangover of fate. He laughs, low and beautiful. The pack bell rings in the distance. Someone announcing dinner, or maybe just another ordinary day. For once, ordinary sounds perfect. So that's it. The miracle, the mark, the mess we called destiny. I used to think the moon wrote every chapter for us. Turns out I was just holding the pen all along. If you've ever fought to make peace with your own story, hit subscribe. Maybe you'll find the courage to rewrite it too. Until next time, it's been Tessa, the world's least qualified prophet and the most stubborn Luna alive. Sleep under a full moon for me, okay? Just maybe skip the prophecy part.